Welcome to Super Tuesday, presented by Progressive. You're watching the ACC on ESPN. Tonight, two of the giants in the history of college basketball. Syracuse welcomes North Carolina, both sitting at 6-3 in the ACC. There's a logjam among teams with 3 losses in conference play, trailing Clemson and Virginia, but a very big difference in terms of metrics and resume. Carolina being in better position, and Syracuse and Joe Girard really needing that victory tonight. Glad to have you with us. Reese Davis, Debbie Antonelli here. Angel Gray will join us in just a little bit. Tar Heels had a rough stretch early in the season, as you probably know, but they're playing better now because they're playing through their big guy.
I mean, come on, one of the best big men in all of college basketball. North Carolina's identity is to and through the post, and that starts with Armando Bacot. He has been fantastic in this stretch where they've won 9 of those 11 games because they're going inside and he's able to score on the interior. But look what he did the other night against NC State. He set the rebounding records, multiple records at North Carolina for his work on the glass. And when you watch Armando work, he's got great footwork, he has excellent timing, and he's got that tough, gritty mentality that wants to rebound and get North Carolina out on the break and get their transition game going.
You know, since Syracuse joined the ACC, they haven't had a lot of success against North Carolina, just 3-11 rebounding, a big reason. Take a look at tonight's starting lineups brought to you by Kay Jewelers, a very familiar group for Hubert Davis's team. R.J. Davis and Caleb Love, along with Leaky Black and the aforementioned Armando Bacot, and the newcomer, graduate transfer from Northwestern, Pete Nance, who the Tar Heels are looking for to be a little bit more aggressive and do everything in his tool bag to give them a little bit more of a presence from that forward spot. He's been really good at times. Syracuse, on the other hand, will counter with Joe Girard, who's scoring nearly 21 points per game in ACC play. The freshman point guard, as Judah mentioned, who's been terrific. Fellow freshman Chris Bell, a little up and down at times, and Benny Williams, along with Jesse Edwards, who leads the ACC in blocked shots and will present a challenge physically and from a length standpoint for Bacot and the other Tar Heel big guys.
Jesse Edwards listed at 6'11" with a 7'4" wingspan, and he is going to have to be able to hold his ground inside on the glass, but he's going to need some help. He's the second best rebounder in the league behind Bacot. But Syracuse is going to have to be on the glass, Reese. They got to keep North Carolina off the free throw line, which means they got to protect inside out and can't foul the Tar Heels. And they've got to be able to get some easy buckets off their defense.
Good number of students in the house tonight. Everybody back in school, and really many around the Syracuse program feeling that in January, at least, it's the turn of the new year, this will be the first true Syracuse atmosphere. Of course, the atmosphere is defined by the man who has his name on the court. Jim Boeheim in his 47th season with the Orange, 1,011 career victories. Mike Krzyzewski has more. We're just over 1,200, and Boeheim, his team is playing better. They've won 3 out of 4 at a real rough stretch early in the season, but they don't have any of the quad 1 wins, or really any marquee type wins. Tonight is a big opportunity for them. Our officials, Roger Ayers, Lee Cassell, and Brian O'Connell, we're just about set to get underway. In the northern part of the state of New York, Roger has the ball in his hand, greets Caleb Love and Joe Girard, and he'll put it in the air, and we'll be underway in Syracuse, and Carolina has it first.
2-3 zone for Syracuse. Jesse Edwards in the middle. North Carolina's got to get somebody to that high post area, that logo area.
R.J. Davis, who's really been playing well of late, knocks down the first bucket of the game.
Last 6 games, Reese, he shot 56% from the three-point line. And North Carolina as a team doesn't shoot it great, just 13th in the league in percentage at 32. They got to knock some threes down today.
One of the interesting things about Syracuse, the percentage is good, but they don't shoot a lot of them. Men's driving, and Bacot has his first rebound of the night. Heels in transition now. Syracuse gets the zone set up. Leakey tried to leave it with Bacot. And high post area. What a nice bounce pass, and the first block of the night. I think Edwards got a hand on that one. That was a good look from Nance, but Baycott couldn't finish over the top. Lob a little too high, and Syracuse turns it over. There is Hubert Davis, the former Tar Heel, in his second season as the head coach. Played under Dean Smith, coached under Roy Williams, took over last year and led the Heels to the national championship game.
What a remarkable job Hubert Davis has done in first year and has North Carolina right in the middle of it again this year.
It's one of the questions people wonder whether to worry about the Tar Heels. Preseason #1 hasn't started the way they wanted, but this game certainly has. Is Caleb Love. He's really been struggling to shoot. He's been just 3 of his last 22 from 3, and the Heels are up by 6.
Boy, if he can start seeing a big basket, that'll open up that zone and pull them out a little bit and give them some driving lanes and give Baycott some room.
Good defense by Baycott against Edwards, and he gets Syracuse on the board.
Yeah, you played Jesse Edwards straight up. You make him make a post move. He is capable of doing so.
Nance in the high post, takes the shot.
I think North Carolina has multiple players that can run through that logo area, high post area.
And foul is going to be on the floor. They're going to get R.J. Davis.
Well, we have 2 of the top 3 scoring backcourts, as well as 2 great big men. North Carolina's number 2 in scoring in the backcourt with Caleb Love and R.J. Davis.
Well, Gerard wanted the foul called. There's Davis and Love, and Gerard and Mintz. Mintz is not a great shooter yet, but he can penetrate. He's gifted getting in the lane.
Well, the scout is to go under everything on him. You want to keep him out of the lane, make him score from outside the arc. I watched him in shoot around. And I watched him in practice. He's ready to make some threes.
He's only shooting 17% on the year from 3. That's a good look from Love to Baycott, and Armando has a bucket.
Armando is so good at playing in a crowd. He can catch in a crowd. He's got excellent footwork. He's a tremendous finisher in the paint.
Tar Heels will try to beat that zone back. Love draws some contact from Mintz. They'll talk about it, and Andreas says no, foul on the floor.
North Carolina, as we mentioned, playing to and through Armando Baycott. Watch how he moves off the penetration, slides up the lane, catches in a crowd, finishes with 2 white jerseys around him.
Nance, a little running hook, reminiscent of his dad. Baycott fighting for the rebound, can't control it, and I think Armando's going to pick up an excuse me foul as he knocks down Judah Mintz.
That's just a cheap one that Armando picks up.
(8-2) Carolina in the early going. Mintz wowing the crowd. It leads it in, and Williams can't finish. Here come the Heels. Mintz has already become a crowd favorite, sort of in that long line of great Syracuse ball handling guards. It's heard the crowd react when he went around his back. Drawing comparisons to Johnny Flynn, Tyler Ennis, Leaky Black for 3. Leaky along the baseline. I think he stepped on the baseline. It'll be Cuse's ball.
I mean, Leaky Black is wide open. He has to look to take some threes. Syracuse would rather shade their zone towards R.J. Davis and Caleb Love. So Leaky's going to be open. He's going to have to make some.
Another freshman into the lineup, Debbie, for Jim Boeheim is Malik Brown, freshman from Culpeper, Virginia. Well, he had a terrific game last time out against Georgia Tech. He's a really active guy around the rim.
I think he has to help him on the glass. You know, that's where Syracuse needs some help. Jesse Edwards has 11 rebounds a game. He's one of the top rebounders in the ACC, but they don't get a lot of help on the boards. Their guards are going to have to help today.
Also a man after my own heart with a spectacular coiffure. There's Joe Girard putting one up, and the follow and the tip in by Chris Bell.
Leaky Black has that assignment on Joe Girard. It's a great follow by Bell. R.J. Davis guarded Joe Girard in this matchup last year. Leakey was on Buddy Boeheim.
Bell almost gets a steal. Caleb Love has already hit one, and now he's hit two.
That's a great sign for North Carolina, because Caleb Love has not been shooting the ball very well. In ACC, his numbers are lower than what they are on the season average, just 24% from the three-point line in ACC play.
Now, he had 16 points Saturday against North Carolina State, but he was only 3 of 14 from the floor. Men's line's one up, and Baycott has another rebound.
See, they're going to go under, and they're going to give him that. He's got to be ready to make that play.
Davis, good look to Nance. And it's a 9-point lead for North Carolina. This has been a problem for Syracuse. In 6 of their last 8 ACC games, they've trailed in the first 5 to 6 minutes by at least 7 points, double figures on a few occasions, and they're already down 9. There's Gerard.
Well, Mintz takes a bad shot. It leads to a long rebound, and it's an easy 2 in transition for North Carolina.
High-low, and Baycott on the business end. North Carolina, when they played this zone last year, Syracuse had 21 assists in their basket, one of the top performances in terms of passing the ball all season. We've seen some good ball movement from the heels already.
You know what, Reese? They're in the logo area, and they're ready to make a play. Pete Nance is making a quick decision with a basketball.
North Carolina has found a big bucket. I guess that dome shooting background hasn't bothered them so far. 9-point edge for the Heels.
What makes me Wooden worthy is I think that I embody and am a symbol for what college basketball is all about. Every year I've gotten better and better and better, and I've just been serving as a leader on and off the court. And I think I've never cheated the game and have played hard and never took it for granted.
Welcome back to Syracuse. That was your Wendy's Wooden Watch with Armando Baycott, and there aren't many people that have had a better stretch than the reigning ACC Player of the Week. Armando Baycott has etched his name in the Tar Heels history books by becoming the all-time leader in rebounds and double-doubles. When you start talking about breaking records, of course, your teammates and the family start coming out to celebrate you. Tyler Hansborough was there to pass the torch, and of course it was great to see him celebrating with his team, but the thing that stood out to me is what Tyler tweeted. He said, "Rebounding isn't easy. He put the work in, and it's well-deserved." We have seen Baycott go off. He has 12 double-doubles on the season. He's been a monster on the boards. Someone like the guy he has tatted on his leg, Dennis Rodman. He got that 2 days before he actually broke the record, guys.
Well, you look at the Angel, the guys who have on top of that rebound list, and Billy Cunningham was the guy who passed for double-doubles. Debbie, you were asking the Syracuse staff, Adrian Andre today, what is it that makes Baycott a good rebounder?
Well, he does the work. First of all, he's an incredible fitness, right? He's got the mentality to do it, and he gets excellent position. So he is a student of the game in terms of reading angles and getting himself in position. And if Syracuse allows North Carolina to penetrate to the paint, they're going to have to rotate. And when you rotate, that leaves him open to get to the boards.
Edwards bothered that shot, and that is the one thing. Armando's not an above-the-rim kind of guy.
No.
Edwards has great length, so he's going to make it a challenge in there for him. Mintz pulls up and scores.
That is a much better shot for Judah Mintz to take.
UNC 15, Syracuse 8.
He's going to have to look to score because Leaky Black right now is draped all over Joe Girard.
Nance, good look to Leaky, and Leaky gets a bucket himself. Boy, Pete Nance has made some really nice passes in there.
Making some really good decisions with the ball. He's got size over the front line of that zone. He can see, and he knows that that high-low game is available in this zone.
Chris Bell, the freshman. They're really high on his potential. Black has it swatted away by Edwards.
Jesse Edwards, top shot blocker in the ACC. Look at the timing. He sizes this up, sends it into the third row. I think he needs to send it into their transition game.
6th in the country in blocked shots, and a full block per game better than anyone else in the ACC. deflection from Mintz.
North Carolina doing a really good job of shot faking.
And it's an offensive foul on Caleb Love as Mintz did a tremendous job to get in position.
You got to referee the defense right here. This is a tremendous job, as you said, Reese. Caleb Love, nowhere to go. I don't even know where he was going. And R.J. Davis fell down on that play, too. Must have been the shock of the...
Okay, did you think he kept the legal guarding position there?
Yes, I did.
The legal three-point position goes to Joe Girard. And he's got 5 now. He struggled historically against the Tar Heels, but off to a solid start. 4-point game now.
Well, Leaky Black's not on the floor right now. So North Carolina loses him.
Love is 3 for 3 from downtown.
And DeMarco Dunn is now in the game to take over for Leaky Black in that assignment with Joe Girard. You cannot make a mistake on Joe Girard.
And Dunn just fouls Girard as he tried to get to the baseline.
After Syracuse played at Miami, Jim Larinaga, the head coach at Syracuse, said that Joe Girard might be the most experienced player, smartest player in the league. He understands how to play. So he knows DeMarco Dunn is going to have to take some angles on him. Watch this.
You know, Girard kept backing down the Miami guards, and Larinaga said afterwards, it's not like he's 6'11". How does he keep doing that? R.J. Davis, good look, and into the game, and in with the bucket is Jalen Washington, the freshman from Gary, Indiana. North Carolina's pushed it back out to 9. You know, that's just the second field goal in the start of the third game. North Carolina has got it from a bench player, and Girard starting to feel it.
DeMarco Dunn is 6'5", Leaky Black is 6'9". 6'9" can definitely affect your window. The length. See, Joe Girard's getting confident now.
He's knocked down a couple of triples. Both teams have shot the ball well from 3 in the opening moments here. Shot clock at 5, and Nance. The shot clock goes back to 20 on the kick ball. It'll be North Carolina's ball.
Playing inside out, Caleb Love drills his second triple of the first half. And then Joe Girard, look at that little step back.
General admission season tickets for both men's and women's lacrosse are $110.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by Progressive Insurance. It's easy to bundle your home and car insurance at progressive.com. Joe Girard has half of Syracuse's 16 points, just 1 point off a career high against North Carolina. Done a good job on him defensively, and in fairness, he wasn't always called on to shoulder the offensive load with Buddy Boeheim having been here the last few years, but he's off to a good start. Leaky Black has returned for the Tar Heels. And Pete Nance knocks it down, and Caleb Love's gotten off to a great start as well.
Caleb Love was 3 for 22 in the last 3 games coming into this one. He's 3 for 3 tonight.
Girard, how about Joe Girard? He's into double figures. 10 of Syracuse's 18, coming off a 28-point night against Georgia Tech. Continues his hot shooting. Good hands by Mintz, and the turnover for the Heels. Judah Mintz gets to the elbow, got Black in the air. It wouldn't fall for him, and R.J. Davis on the push. RJ trying to turn the corner. Girard recovers nicely.
Syracuse doing a good job getting over the top of that screening action.
High low, Nance again. Couldn't connect with Jalen Washington. He's giving Baycott a rest. Girard curls off the screen, and Washington's there to help him. Edwards begging for it, and Girard can't get it to him. Instead, Brown finds it, and Nance swats it away.
Really good play by Jalen Washington to help on that curl. That's where Joe Girard does a lot of damage. It's those drag screens and those curl screens, those step-up screens in transition.
Another offensive foul called on Caleb Love, Debbie.
His second personal, team foul number 5.
A couple of fouls now on Love. He'll take a break. SEC Big 12 Challenge presented by Continental Tire. What a day of basketball on Saturday. Auburn, West Virginia. The Jalen Hurts, we get to claim him bowl for Alabama and Oklahoma at 2 Eastern. Then Arkansas and Baylor at 4 o'clock Eastern time. Then the Sonic Blockbusters, Texas and Tennessee, Kansas and Kentucky. College game day will be at both. We'll do our morning show from Knoxville before Texas, Tennessee, and then make our way up to Rupp for the nightcap. Part of the Sonic Blockbuster in the SEC Big 12 Challenge. And Chris Bell knocks down the 3, and Syracuse is clawed back to within 3. Rims out. Edwards has the rebound.
So there's plenty of time on the shot clock. I think North Carolina can get a better shot in that possession.
Gerard's feeling it a little bit. Couldn't get free from Leakey. Samir Torrance into the game, wanted it as he cut down the lane. Now Edwards fading back.
Really good job by Armando Bacot to hold his ground. North Carolina staying home on shooters, not helping.
This crowd trying to get behind the orange. They extend out, trying to get the hands in the passing lane. Seth Trimble in, guard for the Heels.
Good look away.
Bacot scores.
Yeah, that is a great pass by Leaky Black because he looked away the defender just enough to shift and open up that high post area for Bacot.
Benny Williams back in. Had to set a little screen. Gerard lost the handle. Here comes R.J. Davis working on Torrance. Somebody blew his shoe. It's Torrance. He lost a wheel. And the ball goes out of bounds. They're fighting inside. Armando Bacot doing some work. Working in that high post. Leakey feeds him. And the big fella puts it down. Heels trying to win their second of the season on the road.
In coaching studio, Chauncey Wiggins and ACC leading Clemson up early on Tech.
Yeah, this is a different Clemson team. They're playing at the fastest pace in the ACC. Brad Brownell, coach of the year in the ACC right now.
Some second screen viewing options fonts. Top 12 matchup on ESPNU.
Yeah, I'm loving that Kansas State-Iowa State game. Gabe Kousher continues his superb play with 6 points in this game.
Oklahoma State, Texas on the Longhorn Network. Kentucky, Vanderbilt on the SEC Network. Pretty good night, Reese Davis.
Kevin, it is, and a good one here so far. You see our buddy Joe Lenardi, a certified bracketologist, with where the ACC teams are currently seated. Syracuse is not under consideration at the moment. Lack of big wins. This would qualify as a quad 2 win for those who keep track of such things, given that it's a home game. But potentially by the end of the season could be a quad 1. And as it saw those seeds that Joe Lenardi has projected, how many 1 seeds in the country would relish a second round matchup against North Carolina?
No, I don't think so. 11 baskets for North Carolina, 10 of which have been assisted.
That's something they hadn't done a lot of. As R.J. Davis steps back. Leakey flying in, trying to tip it.
No,
Andy Williams gets the rebound.
As a matter of fact, they only average 46% of their baskets assisted.
Gerard beats him down the floor. So we're going to break and talked a little bit about North Carolina's inability to win on the road this year. Only one true road win. It came at Louisville, and Louisville's done a lot of losing to just about everybody this year. The Tar Heels are looking for a little something that's been difficult for them, and the Orange looking for a closer to marquee win, trying to get themselves into consideration as we get into the second half of the season. Gerard dribbled it off his foot and then R.J. Davis is fouled as he goes. Joe showing a little frustration. Only the second team foul committed by the Orange.
I mean, Joe Girard worked so hard off the ball to get open. You know, he's going to go over and sit down right now. Looks like he's limping a little. He's so good in that curling action, and Leaky Black is doing everything he can to try to keep him from catching. Justin Taylor is a very good three-point shooter. He's in the lineup. See if he can get loose on the offensive end.
Had a game the freshman early in the season against Bryant when he dropped 25 points. Out of Charlottesville, Virginia, really good shooter, big future here with the Orange. Shot clock at 5. Baycott's going to have to let it fly, and he knocks it down.
How about that? A little space right there for Baycott, showing a little face-up game from the high post.
Armando's talked for the last couple of years about expanding his game in that area. If he can add that to it consistently, which he has improved over the years, if he does that, it'll be a handful.
You got that kind of work ethic that he has, I think you can do whatever you want.
Long lob to Edwards. Baycott, he brought it down low, and Baycott knocked it away from him. R.J. Davis on the pull-up.
I mean, you know how hard that is to do? Go full speed, stop on a dime, and jump straight up and score.
Symir Torrance gets into the lane.
And Syracuse wants to score quickly before North Carolina gets organized. And then when they can score, that's when they have time to get back and set this D. I think North Carolina's done a really good job in that high post area, playing through that area of the floor.
And spins around, a little too hard off the back. Torrance with the rebound.
He definitely shoots a line drive. I was watching him in practice today.
Scored 1,000 points in his career at Northwestern. Benny Williams, a little highlight drive down the boulevard. That's the kind of thing they need from him.
Big time, aggressive.
Crowd getting behind it. The Cuse is closed to within 3. They're getting Carolina deeper into the shot clock in recent possessions. R.J. Davis to beat the shot clock. Didn't get a thing.
Stayed on top of the zone too long. You got to dive inside. You got to get to the baseline. You got to shift that zone. They've had great success playing through the middle of it.
Here's Judah Mintz working on DeMarco Dunn. Mintz goes in, and Dunn, physical defense. It'll stay with Syracuse. 9 on the shot clock. We're at the under 4 media timeout.
Benny Williams with a hard take to the hole, doing a great job of finishing. Syracuse within 3.
On the Jeep halftime report, we'll consider who's more of a concern big picture in the ACC, North Carolina or Duke, plus a big-time matchup in the Big 12 in Ames, Iowa.
Yes.
Fonz, how's Armando Baycott impacting this game?
He's been terrific. He's been working, operating behind and in the middle of that zone, Seth. He's got 8 points in this game, but more importantly, he's got 3 assists.
I think that Syracuse feels good about the pace of this game, and they're doing a really good job of keeping North Carolina off that offensive glass, which is really important if they're going to win this game.
Reese and Debbie in the Dome.
Kevin, thank you very much. Onir Hima into the game, big fella, transfer from Duquesne. His terrific skill as a shot blocker. He's had the first one rim out, and you expected to see Tyler Nickel into the game, and he's in for Carolina, and Baycott flushes one.
I mean, I think Tyler Nickel can get free with Caleb Love on the bench. With Caleb actually back in the game with 2 fouls.
We were just talking about that
We
break
were.
in the philosophy there is Judah Mintz scores.
And the other thing, to Seth's point, you know, North Carolina has only missed 12 shots. They've offensive rebounded 2 of them, so they have done a good job keeping a North Carolina team that rebounds better than that, percentage-wise, off the offensive glass.
I tell you, the other thing they've done is they haven't fouled. On Saturday, North Carolina made 36 free throws, 36 out of 39. Pete Nance rattles one in. They get a large percentage of their points, about 23% of their points from the free throw line. Now Syracuse, that's one of the best in the nation. Syracuse, one of the best in the country at keeping teams from scoring there, and neither team has shot a free throw in the first half. Girard got away with a walk. Mintz going to line up another three, and he knocks one in, just his 7th make of the season.
That's what I'm talking about. That young man's percentage should be better based on the way he shoots the three in practice.
We saw him walk through today. Carolina was going to make him make some before they went out to contest it.
I still think you make him make them.
Love, and Nance tried to go in like his dad. Got fouled. And now somebody will go to the free throw line. This is an important stretch of games for the Orange. We mentioned them needing a signature victory. North Carolina tonight. Then they go on the road on Saturday against Virginia Tech. Be on the ACC network. Syracuse and the Hokies, 7 Eastern time. Virginia Tech coming off that win last night against Duke, somewhat controversial late in the game. Would you have called the foul?
I would have.
It was a celebration. For those who might not have seen it, Virginia Tech makes a big bucket, throw the fist in celebration, and hit Filipowski right in the throat. No call.
Yeah, I thought that
it was inadvertent, but
there was no
still,
whistle. It should have been a flagrant one.
So I'm glad I got that note in about nobody shooting a free throw right before Pete Nance goes in and gets it. But still,
well, that's
it's not many. Yeah.
I mean, there's two really important things playing North Carolina. Keep them off the line, keep them off the offensive glass. Syracuse has done both of those things very well here in the first half.
And Edwards is going to be called for the offensive foul, trying to set a screen to get Girard free. Girard and Baycott are debating some current affairs, perhaps, as they come back down the court.
Yeah, that's a foul. You know, I watched on Synergy all of Joe Girard's field goal attempts last year with R.J. Davis guarding him. He only made 4 out of 12. R.J. did a really nice job on him.
Nance, that line drive shot. Couldn't get it. And Tyler Nickel maybe in for shooting, but he gets the block. Leakey back to Baycott, and Baycott with a finish on the break. Hughes trying to answer. Edwards up top for the dunk. You better run back on defense in the final minute of the first half. In this one, you're going to get baptized.
It's hard to get a 2-for-1 against the zone. Got to get a good shot here. Nickel's got to move after he makes the entry.
Baycott gets his own, trying to go back up. Now the whistles, and now we've got a scrum. Over on the side is Baycott. Is tied up in there with Jesse Edwards. Everybody walking away, and they call a tie-up, and the ball will belong to Syracuse.
Look at the effort. Good hustle.
And the hip drag.
Hard play. And Baycott always walks away. Always.
Angel?
Guys, I was talking to Jesse Edwards about the Baycott matchup. He said, I know he's strong. We have very different aspects of our game. He's strong, and comparing him to Steven Adams on the pro level. But he said he had a conversation with Giannis when he came to their game last year. He said, size doesn't matter. We have to make sure that it's the heart, it's the will, and we saw it in that last play from Jesse.
He fought him. He was kind of on the business end of a hip toss takedown there. But it was a great little run of action on both sides here.
I mean, this is fun. This is what you come for the dome for right here. Up and down. Baycott, Girard just running a little interference there, and then how quickly Syracuse gets it out of the net to the other end.
That's Edwards' deal. He runs to the rim. He's having a terrific year.
He's a rim runner. He gets putbacks and drop-offs. He has really improved his footwork in the post, making some moves with some counters. Not 100% healthy last year, but this year, you see the numbers right there. Second in the league in rebounding behind Baycott, and the top shot blocker in the ACC.
And he's averaging a double-double, rebounds up 4 per game. And Syracuse has weathered some early storms. Their customary falling behind, and now a chance to close this to a one-possession game before halftime. Mintz showing it everything in there, maybe showed a little too much.
That is really good defense. R.J. Davis staying down, guarding the ball, forcing a tough two.
And remember, Syracuse with only 14 fouls to give, so they do so in the backcourt. Now 3.7 remaining here in the first. It is Mintz's second personal foul, and he will not be called on to give the one more foul as Torrance returns. Both teams shooting over 50% in the first half. RJ gets loose, lets it fly off the backboard. It's no good. And that's how we will go to the half. North Carolina with a 38-34 lead. Baycott with a dozen. It has been matched by Girard. They've done it differently. Armando inside, and Girard creating shots from all over. Really entertaining first half here in the Dome. Looking forward to the second half. 38-34 Heels. Let's head to the studio, the halftime report with LaFonso Ellis, Seth Greenberg, and the great Kevin Connors.
All right, Reese Davis, you said it well there. Very entertaining.
20 minutes. Call us great.
In God's country. Jeep halftime report. ACC leading Clemson home to Georgia Tech. Brevin Galloway and the Tigers got off to a fast start.
And this Clemson team, you don't know who's going to beat. It could be P.J. Hall, it could be Brevin Galloway, it could be Tyson Hunter, it could be Hunter Chase. It's the collective group that is so hard to prepare for when you're playing against Clemson.
Yeah, Georgia Tech has really struggled at times in scoring the basketball. Davion Smith's been really good. He's got 11 points in this game for Tech.
9-point lead at the half. Meantime, up and down January for number 20 Miami, but Nigel Pack and the Canes just torched Florida State.
Isaiah Wong got off to a slow start in the first half, but then he really picked it up in the second half. 10 of his 18 points in the second half alone, Seth.
All 5 starters for Miami scoring double figures. And Nigel Pack, 16 a game the last 2 games, has 18 today on 4 for 7 from the three-point line. He's starting to understand where his shots are coming from.
He was money in that one, 23-point Miami win. Jeep halftime report. LaFonso Ellis, Coach Seth Greenberg, Kevin Connors here. New AP Top 25 comes out on Monday. No Duke, no North Carolina. Fonz, based on where the teams are and how they're playing right now, who's a bigger threat, big picture in the ACC?
Well, I think it's North Carolina, because when I look at North Carolina, Seth, most of the issues that they have are fixable, and it comes down to guard play. Caleb Love is really struggling shooting the basketball from the field, but when his shot selection is on par, he's really good. Let's take a look at a few of the areas where he struggles. This one, he comes off, takes a quick jack in transition, no offensive rebounds underneath the rebound to basketball. This one, he just takes it too deep. He's got 3 guys open on the perimeter, and this last one right here, these are the kinds he needs to take, Seth. These inside-out three-point step-in knockdown shots. He gets another one here off in-out threes, only shooting about 28% from the three-point line on the season, but you can see he's so much more effective on inside-out threes where he can just step in. He's 3 for 3 from the three-point line in this game.
The guard that's playing really well for North Carolina is R.J. Davis.
Yes.
Again, 5 points, 5 assists, 1 turnover. He's just so solid. He gets everyone in the right spot. Look, here's the deal with Duke. We don't know what Duke is.
That's right.
Because, as the season went along, they started the season, no Derek Lively, no Derek Whitehead. Yeah. Those guys get healthy. Then Jeremy Roach goes out.
Lighting up the sky orange in Syracuse. Syracuse down to North Carolina, 38-34. Just about to start the second half here. Reese Davis, Debbie Antonelli, and Angel Gray. Tar Heels and the Orange both had their stars come through in the first half.
That's what we thought would happen, right? I mean, North Carolina doing a great job attacking the zone. 16 baskets, 14 assisted. Syracuse +1 on the glass. And Armando Baycott getting inside that defense, doing a great job of getting on that back row, getting into the chest of Edwards, spinning off and scoring. And then how about running the floor? Well, one of the things that Tar Heels need to do a better job of in the second half is guarding Joe Girard in this ball screen action. Jesse Edwards does a great job. He's a hard rim roller. He takes up some space, but Girard does a good job of accelerating off the screening action and using the bounce to create separation to get into the rhythm of his jumper. He has been solid, 5 for 6 from the floor, 2 for 2 outside the three-point line in the first half.
Both teams shot it really well, but Debbie, I would say that there are a lot of things that favored Syracuse in that first half. You mentioned the 1 rebound edge they have, which is not customary for them. They're being out-rebounded on the season, and Carolina's a good rebounding team. And the other, something we mentioned in the first half, only 2 free throws shot in the first half. Carolina shot only those 2. Typically, they spend a great majority of the time at the free throw line. Pete Nance working in the lane. He misses the first shot. We check in with Angel. You talked to both coaches at the half, Angel.
I did, and I'll start with UNC. Coach Hubert was telling me, even though he was pleased with how they were sharing the ball, he said, number one thing, we have to do better on defense. We have to fly around better. We let them shoot 52% from the three-point line. That is not good enough. On the other side, Syracuse is dealing with a high-low. They said it's hurting them. Nance making it too hard for them. They have to pick their poison between Baycott on the inside and Nance. We'll see what they do.
They just went high, low, low, and Baycott got it swatted out of there by Edwards, who's been a force defensively around the rim. Benny Williams, another acrobatic move. And the foul.
Foul on number 32, Pete Nance.
It's a great play at the rim. Look at Jesse Edwards. He is just dominating the paint right now on defense. And then Nance, if he just stayed vertical, instead he reaches. What a strong finish in the first free throws for Syracuse.
Benny Williams couldn't finish off the three-point play. That's the type of thing that you'll see Benny Williams do in practice from time to time. Really gifted player, want a little more consistency out of him. Didn't play a lot as a freshman last year, but he's had a couple of moves tonight that show you why he was one of the top players in the country coming out of high school. Nance, line drive, 3's no good. Rebound too long for Leaky Black, and now ahead of the field, and Bell dunks it home, and we're tied at 38. Now the Tar Heels, who were carving up that zone in the first half, now finding those looks more difficult to come by. Back to Nance, and he's fouled on his way to the basket.
When North Carolina plays with poise right there, they'll get a good look. Watch this move up the floor. Great eyes to the rim. Back-to-back plays in transition for Syracuse. They didn't get very many easy buckets in the first half. North Carolina has already given up 2 baskets.
Debbie Bell has hit 4 of 5 from the floor. He's got 9 points. He only had a couple of free throws against Georgia Tech. He really struggled a bit in his last 2 games, had a total of 5 points and 1 rebound across the 2 games. And he's played very well tonight.
He only has 29 rebounds on the whole season coming into the game, and that's the thing. He's got to play more aggressively.
I haven't seen Quadir Copeland tonight for Syracuse. That is a guy that Boeheim talked about after the Georgia Tech game. Was more effective than his starting forwards in terms of rebounding. He's wanted those forwards, Bell, Benny Williams, to do a little bit better job on the glass.
Baycott really working hard to seal.
R.J. Davis almost lost it, and then he did, and finally got it back. Now he'll throw it up with the left hand, and it's no good. And Leakey almost picked Gerard's pocket. Now let's see who it's off of. And it'll be Syracuse ball. Caleb Love begs to differ with Brian O'Connell, but I think O'Connell will carry the day, and Boeheim will be pleased with the result.
Yeah, off his foot.
And R.J. Davis down underneath the basket. He took a shot. See if R.J. can kind of clear the cobwebs for a moment. Tied at 40 again.
I think they're going to take a look at this.
And see if Mintz caught him with the elbow, and now the officials may be headed over to the monitor to see exactly what happened.
Oh yeah, on his way up. So there's no whistle on this, so they're going to take a look at it. I think it's just a basketball play myself. I don't think there's anything there.
Yeah, I don't see anything.
But you have to take a look at it because R.J. Davis didn't look good.
Well, and that was, and they're attending to him now down at the end of the North Carolina bench. Playing the North Carolina State game for Carolina on Saturday when Leaky Black had the hard foul. You felt like that was one of the reasons that it was adjudicated the way it was because of the impact it had.
Exactly. I mean, he was an airborne player. They had a foul on it. They had to upgrade it. I wasn't sure it was going to go to a 2. I thought it would be a 1. But I think the severity with which Terquavion, the result of the issue, made them upgrade it to a 2.
That was Terquavion Smith of North Carolina State, who was back in the lineup tonight for the Wolfpack tonight, so we were certainly glad to see that. It looked as if, too, they were looking at RJ's choppers over there. Roger Ayers coming over and confirming what we thought basketball play going to the hoop. We've got a basketball game tied at 40. Tyler Nichols in for R.J. Davis. Baycott using that muscle, and he draws another foul on Edwards.
I mean, Baycott is working. You've got to get into the chest of the shot blocker.
His second personal, second team foul.
Well, the crowd didn't like it much.
I don't think so.
What did you think?
I didn't think so from my angle, but
Armando, who made all 7 of his free throws on Saturday, misses the first. Much improved free throw shooter. And if he can make 1 or 2, North Carolina will go back on top. He can, and they do. But Syracuse can take its first lead of the game on this trip. The men who had the strong move last time working on Love. Edwards. Now he's working on Baycott. Good defense by Armando, and Edwards scores over him anyway.
How about the patience, the poise, the counter, the bucket?
Love kicks it out. Here's Nickel for 3.
That's a smart play by Caleb Love. That's why Tyler Nickel is on the floor. He's a high percentage shooter in the corner. That is an excellent play.
Maybe you sensed it in practice today. Asked Hubert Davis about the possibility of seeing a little more of Tyler Nickel, and that was a big shot. And there's Edwards again on the business end. We're tied at 44.
Leaky Black's got to do a little bit more on Joe Girard. I mean, he's got to take him out of the game some, because Joe Girard is a gamer. He is a great decision maker with the ball in his hands.
How about Edwards coming out to block the three-pointer from Nickel, covering some serious ground.
You got to show a little shot fake when you see 6'11" with a 7'4" wingspan coming at you. Another block for Jesse Edwards.
He's got 4 of them 5 times this year. He's had 5. We got a long way to go. I think he'll get his hand on another 1 or 2 or 4 before the night's over. He has been a force defensively and also contributed with 8 points and 6 rebounds. He's held his own against Baycott inside. Here's Girard, who had a big first half. Girard, good defense by Baycott to knock it away. Turnover for Syracuse. Nickel this time will take it in. Love with the runner.
Caleb Love picking his spots, making good decisions. Because he made a play for Tyler Nickel the last time he touched the ball, that is a really good shot by him to take.
Love at times. Yeah, Love at times you can question the shot selection, but he's played really smart basketball tonight when he's been in. He did miss a little more time than normal. Played only 12 minutes in the first half. He averages 36 minutes a game. Menz has it knocked away, but recovers. Shot clock at 12. Now shot clock at 5, and Syracuse not making much progress toward the basket. Is knocked out of bounds with the first media timeout of the second half. When you come back, Syracuse will have 3 seconds on the shot clock.
This is one of the things North Carolina needs to do to clean up that ball screen, that 2-man game between Girard and Edwards, and then Love with a floater.
championship resumes.
This is not a final exam. This is a midterm.
It's a top 10 showdown and a clash of old school blue bloods. Experience the SEC Big 12 Challenge doubleheader Saturday on ESPN.
Sonic blockbuster matchups, Texas and Tennessee at 6, followed by Kansas and Kentucky at 8. It'll be a great day. The SEC Big 12 Challenge with a couple of huge games there. We will update that score for you. I assure you it's not 44-0. And Syracuse gets a shot clock violation. Tied at 44. Here's Jim Boeheim, Hall of Famer, over 1,000 wins.
He's like,
we've
run
seen
the
that
play.
look before.
Run the play.
Baycott to Nance, and Nance is fouled again. And if they get Jesse Edwards, that's going to be 3 on him.
Remember our conversation today with Hubert Davis about Nance and about how he doesn't have to worry about feeling like he's the new guy. All these guys are back stepping on somebody's toes. Coach Davis went into a really good conversation with us about this is a new year, different team, and they need Pete Nance to be aggressive, and he has played that way today.
That's the thing, Debbie. Hubert said he had mentioned last year one time. I think there's a feeling, I'll admit, I mean, you see these guys, we know what they did last year. Haven't played great, you know, in terms of the one-loss record overall, of course, of the season, but yeah, let them get to February, let them get to March. They've been around, they'll be fine. And, you know, from Hubert's perspective, they don't want to look back. You always want to look forward.
You can't always flip the switch, right? And you're building habits all season so that you're ready to handle situations. The first thing Coach Hubert Davis did when they came out today is worked on situations in late shot clock.
Judah Mintz scoring over Baycott. And the freshman is gifted when it comes to taking the ball to the basket. Mintz into double figures with 11. It is 48-46. Carolina with a lead in the ball.
See, without R.J. Davis on the floor, Caleb Love's got to handle the playmaking responsibilities.
Love shot it well tonight. Leaky Black, the offensive rebound. He'll kick it back out. Nickel thought about it. With good close by Mintz. Good pass from Nickel into Baycott. Got it blocked by Edwards. Armando staying with it and is swept out of there by Chris Bell. Syracuse is working on the board. That was a big key for them staying in this game, and they have done it beautifully throughout the game.
See, Joe Girard snakes behind that ball screen to get the matchup he wants.
Shot it over Baycott.
I like it, though. That's smart.
Leaky with a good pass, and Baycott running the floor, and he'll have a chance for a three-point play.
The Syracuse foul on number 14, Jesse Edwards.
Look how quickly North Carolina converts from their defense to their offense. A contested three, and Baycott sprints and gets rewarded.
And Debbie, with 13:34 left in this game, it could have been a really big foul. Jesse Edwards just picked up his 4th. Had a flurry of them here in the second half. One of them perhaps questionable. That one was not.
The third foul.
The third foul was maybe not, as Baycott finishes off the three-point play.
Well, this changes everything for North Carolina now. I mean, Baycott and Nance got to go back to that high-low action. I like Nance in the logo and Baycott behind the zone.
And Syracuse still has a shot blocker out there as Monir Hema, number 55, is in. He is not quite as polished offensively as Edwards has become. But still a great shot blocker. Carolina in transition, Baycott with a finish. And Boeheim's going to want a timeout. And there's a little frustration right now. Mintz showing some frustration, and Boeheim trying to calm him down as he goes to the sidelines. But Syracuse has felt a little wrath of Baycott running the floor here. Armando with the flush, and the Tar Heels have the lead. Let's take a look at our Capital One rewarding performance. And it is Armando Bacot. He's got 18 points, 7 rebounds, 3 boards away from another big double-double. And he's got the 4th foul on Jesse Edwards, which could very well be a huge factor in this game before it's over. Armando Bacot leading all scorers with 18. And number of field goal attempts, Carolina's been playing better as he's touched the ball more later in the season.
Well, when they convert from defense to offense, they really tilt the floor. Like, they get running downhill. Their team speed is outstanding. And that's a tough shot coming off the ATO for Jim Boeheim's team.
Mintz, the freshman, missed it and has been an occasional problem spot for him. A little losing control from time to time. Nance, line drive, triple, and just like that, with Cuse back in the game, North Carolina has its biggest lead of the evening at 10. Gerard, and there is Hema into the game for Edwards, his first basket of the night.
Here comes the press. I was wondering how long it might take. Jim Boeheim has shown some spot pressure this season.
They've played a little more man-to-man than normal, but this press has been something that they used very effectively against Georgia Tech, and they fell in a hole in the first half. Did it against Notre Dame as well earlier this year.
They didn't play any man-to-man possessions against Georgia Tech, but they did play 7 against Miami.
Davis almost gets the 3-point play, and it was Big Bonir Hema, 6'11" center, drawing the foul. RJ will go to the line to shoot a pair. North Carolina has surged back on top by 8.
Taurasi for 3. Watch out! 2 premier programs in the women's game.
Greatest rivalry in women's college basketball. Thursday, number 5, UConn takes on Tennessee, 8 o'clock Eastern time. College game day will be there. El Duncan and the crew tips off the coverage from Thompson Bowling Arena at 7 o'clock Eastern time. You see the pedigree of both teams, and both teams playing really well right now.
UConn's won 10 in a row. Tennessee's won 9 in a row.
So RJ Davis, after making 14 of 14 from the charity stripe against North Carolina State, can't blame us. We didn't mention it before the miss.
Oh.
They missed them both. RJ shooting 90% on the season. That is a rarity. Now remember, he's just returning to the game after taking that shot across the nose. Chris Bell has hit 4 of his 5 shots prior to that, which is for the second time tonight. Hema gives Cuse a fresh possession. There's Mintz on the drive. Now Davis with the rebound. Caleb Love has returned for the Tar Heels. He has it in the corner. And they'll call an illegal screen on Armando Bacot.
Well, there's no time and distance right there. And there's no question this is a foul. He's not set.
See Armando put up the hands. Yeah, I'm good. Just standing here. Didn't do anything. Samir Torrance has returned for Boeheim's team. Syracuse down 8, headed toward the 11-minute mark here. Orange shot it very well in the second half, and Gerard gets it going. Joe Gerard.
He is so good in that ball screen action.
Debbie, those are his first points of the second half, I believe. Gerard now with 15. Syracuse down by 10 a moment ago. They fight back again. They've cut it to 5. Nance from the free throw line. Too hard, tipped out. Davis corrals it. He'll shoot from just inside the arc, RJ Davis.
I think Syracuse will go right back to that ball screen action.
There is the screen. Brown sets it. Now letting fly from the corner is Chris Bell.
That makes Hubert Davis take his glasses off. Here comes the press.
And what they like to do, not only go for the steals, but force you into a tough shot. Layups or dunks is what they wanted. Hema with the block. Here comes Syracuse down just 4. From the corner, back again. It won't go, and Baycott last to touch it. It'll be Orange basketball. Well, I guess in some manner of speaking, it's always an Orange basketball, but the basketball belongs to the Orange.
Baycott thought he got shoved.
How about this fight from Syracuse?
Yes, absolutely.
They've answered all night. Fell behind in the first half. Fought back at the end. Took a brief lead. Carolina pushed it out to double figures. Now Syracuse back within 4 and with the ball. A wardrobe malfunction from big fella Onir Hema. Now Girard has it. He just hit a 3. Going to try another. Way too strong from Girard, but you don't mind. If anybody's going to take it, it's going to be him. Inside 10 minutes to play. This has been an even game. Both teams have hit 6 3-pointers, almost identical in percentage. Caleb Love, another runner, no good. Rebound from the rebound from the freshman Malik Brown. He tried to save it, and throwing it to his teammate Hema, and it went right off his noggin. And Monier in no mood to talk about it for a moment. I will give this to Hema. That one did come in hot. Trying to save it. Baseline underneath. Baycott has it. Davis out front looking at that zone. Hema goes for the steal. Now Nance has a chance for the three-point play. The bucket won't go. He'll go to the free throw line and shoot a couple. Pete has hits all 6 of his free throws tonight. NBA Wednesday doubleheader. The Sixers with the league's leading scorer, Joel Embiid, questionable for this one. Taking on the Nets. Still haven't had an Embiid versus Simmons meeting. See if that materializes tomorrow night. And John, the Grizzlies against the Warriors at 10 Eastern. NBA countdown starts at 7.
Well, North Carolina has done a much better job of getting to the free throw line here in the second half. They only made 1 trip in the first.
You know, Pete Nansen's quietly had a really good night. He's got 16 points. And now 7 of 9 from the free throw line. And Syracuse can get it to a 1-possession game with a bucket. Bell working on Love, desperately wants to shoot it. Lets it fly, and he rains in the 3. The freshman Chris Bell.
That's 2 over Caleb Love on that baseline.
I would say with the degree of difficulty of those, Caleb getting a little of his own medicine. How about this press working? Tar Heels break it. Washington to a cutting Nance who missed the layup, but Nance stole it back. And Hubert Davis is begging his team to slow it down, not take the quick 3. If they can get some control back, crowd behind Syracuse, trying to will the Orange to their first really big victory of the season. Nance against Hema, missed the layup. Washington can't control it, and Syracuse has it.
Good D.
Girard can't find enough breathing room to let it go. Now he's got space. Joe Girard. Good block out by Washington, the freshman for North Carolina, to get the board. Under 8 to go. What a game we have here in the ACC tonight. Reese Davis, Debbie Antonelli, and Angel Gray here, and the Tar Heels are going to take the timeout.
Into the Syracuse lineup, number 14.
2-point game coming down the stretch. North Carolina trying to hang on the road. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by Progressive Insurance. It's easy to bundle your home and car insurance at progressive.com.
Coach in studio, PJ Hall and Clemson pulling away from Georgia Tech.
PJ Hall's finally healthy and playing like it. 23 points a game over his last 3. He's got 17 in this one.
Coach, over on ESPNU right now, the Cyclones a 10-point lead on K-State.
Now, let me tell you something. Iowa State, they don't need any Hilton magic because they're just good.
Check out the scene in the Moody Center on the Longhorn Network. How about the scene in the Dome, Reese Davis?
And the scene has been more electric, Kevin, because of the play of Chris Bell, 15 points tonight. I ran into Chris's dad, Charlie, in the hotel on the way to the arena, and he said he was ready for Syracuse basketball. I should point out, I was on my way to shoot-around for Carolina this morning, so Charlie, who's a really good player at Loyola, was ready at noon. When the lights came on tonight, his son Chris has been balling. He's hit 3 of 5 from 3, now 15 for 33 in ACC play. Gifted shooter, hadn't really played that great the last couple of games. And he's playing well tonight. And Carolina running a play we saw in shoot-around, get the easy bucket from Leaky Black.
Good pass by Caleb Love. Excellent execution off the timeout.
And quenched nearly a 3-minute field goal drought for the Tar Heels.
And that's a foul on Armando.
Jesse Edwards back into the game playing with 4, and this time it's 3 on Armando Bacot.
Usually he has a little bit more poise. So he feels like he gets popped in the mouth, right? Okay. And then he just throws his chest right into Jesse Edwards.
Girard only the 1 field goal in the second half. Tried to leave it for Edwards. That was a great job by Edwards to give it a chance, but Tyler Nickel comes up with it. The Tar Heels get the turnover. R.J. Davis taking a break. Nickel, who's got extensive run tonight, hit a 3. Made a couple good passes, had a huge block in transition. Played well off the bench for Hubert Davis's team. Shot clock at 5. Here's Caleb Love. He gets fouled by Chris Bell. Caleb Love, another of North Carolina's excellent free throw shooters. 78% on the season. Jimmy can only shake his head.
Well, you got it to the right guy in the late shot clock, right? He's capable of making a play.
The Tar Heels, and mostly the 2 guys who are their best free throw shooters, have missed a few. Saw R.J. Davis miss a couple. Caleb Love now has missed 1. They only missed 3 in 39 attempts against North Carolina State.
R.J. Davis is the best free throw shooter in the ACC.
Shooting 75% on the season as a team. Makes 1 out of 2. It's a 5-point edge for the Heels. Girard gets into Bacot, forced to switch. Bacot still on Girard. Mintz working on R.J. Davis, and he scores. Judah wanted a foul, too, and didn't get it, and Cuse goes right into that press. You'd think it's hard to press Carolina. They've had some success. Tar Heels a little tentative. Get it into the front court now, and Nance will slow it up. Syracuse fans wanted to travel.
You would think opening up the court against North Carolina would cause problems because they see the floor so well, and they've been passing it well tonight.
But this is the other thing the press does, get you deep in the shot clock. It's at 5. Leakey's going to shoot it from the corner, leaves it short. Here come the Orange.
And then your 5th option takes the shot.
And R.J. Davis fouls Judah Mintz on the way to the bucket.
They're going to take a look at it. I thought Roger Ayers gave the signal.
Yeah, I think he did. It was a hard foul, but
that's a play on the ball.
Yeah, he hit the ball
first. Hard foul.
Yeah.
They won't be over there long looking at this.
Let's hope not.
Second personal, 14th foul.
So Judah Mintz going to go to the free throw line, and we feel pretty certain it's going to be play on the ball, foul in the act of shooting, and shoot the free throws.
Well, in order to upgrade it, it's got to be excessive or unnecessary or avoidable. I think it's a play on the ball.
I agree with you. You're still looking at it over on the monitor as we go over to Angel now, more on Judah Mintz.
Well, guys, you can just see him in his freshman season, fearless, but most would say he's relentless. He has that tatted on his arm as well. Coach Boeheim said he's one of the best freshmen he's ever had, and he loves his explosiveness and change of pace. Going back to when he was at Oak Hill, his former coach, Steve Smith, said he's a basketball historian. He spent time looking at the history behind Jim Boeheim's program, and more specifically the players that have been in similar positions to him, Tyler Ennis, Johnny Flynn, and Frank Howard. He watched film on them first and said, how will I fit in this system? Him being on the floor has helped so many different players on the floor, and he's just finding his place and his spot in this program, guys.
Angel leads the ACC in steals. That comeback win that Syracuse had against Notre Dame, they have 14.7 of them in the last 7 minutes. They came back, finished strong, had 4 freshmen on the floor, and he sort of led the way for them. You see, he hasn't shied away from the moment here tonight.
By the way, it is a common foul. They did not upgrade it as we thought.
They just come over and asked us. We could have told them.
I mean, we're like 3 for 3 tonight, I think, Reese.
On fire. Off to a good start this season, Debbie. 1-point game. A crowd of just over 20,000 rising to its feet. And it's a steal from Mintz. Syracuse with a chance to take the lead. And Mintz and one. Oh, no. Offensive foul, I beg your pardon. And Mintz is beside himself. From my vantage point here, I was blocked, but
it looks like he's got 2 feet on the floor. I don't know. That's a tough one. That is a bang, right?
I thought it was a foul on Davis.
I did too. I don't
think it should have been an M1. R.J. Davis, the back iron, offensive rebound from Nance, but he had it taken away by Brown. Syracuse with another chance to take the lead.
In those situations, Reese, you always referee the defense. That's what you're supposed to do, is referee the defense on those plays. Did he obtain legal guarding position?
Gerard from way downtown almost got a roll. Headed toward 4.5 to play. What an entertaining game we've had tonight. Baycott working on Edwards. 4 fouls. Now 4 fouls on Baycott with the offensive foul. Now both big fellas will come down the last 4.5. 1 foul away from fouling out.
He displaced the defender. That's a foul.
That one I agree with. So now Baycott is going to take a break. Remember, the under 4 media timeout is coming. So you referenced earlier, Baycott had gotten a little frustrated on the defensive end, picked up 1. Now he's got his 4th on the charge. Maybe just let him cool off a little bit and be back for the final moments of the game. Meanwhile, without their star on the floor, North Carolina in danger of losing the lead. Here's Mintz. Gets in the paint. Mintz on top. He scores. Syracuse has the lead.
He puts R.J. Davis in jail coming off that ball screen. Keeps him on his hip. What a creative finish.
Now where are the heels get their answer from without Baycott on the floor? Nance spinning on Edwards, goes by and scores. Pete Nance is having a night. He's got 18.
Remember, 14 assists on 16 baskets in the first half, playing through the logo area, and Nance was a big part of that. I think that's where they go here at the end of the game until Baycott comes back in.
Now Syracuse trying to answer, and Mintz is causing some problems out there, Debbie. He is maturing even further. R.J. Davis called for the foul. It's his 3rd. We're going to come right down the gut of the game, and the freshman's going to have it in his hands. Can he lead the Orange to victory, or will the Carolina veterans be able to finish the deal on the road?
Deposit towards your season tickets for the 23-24 season.
Guy Van Pelt here, getting set for SportsCenter. Big night in the Big 12. They all are. Full highlights from the ranked teams in action. Plus, Georgetown finally gets a Big East win. Here what Patrick Ewing had to say afterwards. Plus, Bill Barnwell in studio breaking down the conference championship games. Back to the Dome. Good one, Reese and Debbie.
Scott, it has been a terrific one. 3:29 left. Finishing it up for the moment. Armando Bacot still on the bench for North Carolina. Tar Heels up by 1. The freshman Judah Mintz for the Orange, who has the ball now, has been brilliant late. He's got 17, and he almost had 19. And Tyler Nickel comes away with the rebound.
He's played well. Good D by R.J. Davis.
Debbie, one of the things the Orange had to do was hold their own on the boards. Not only have they done that, they've out-rebounded North Carolina tonight. Pete Nance, wild, hard shot, no good. And Syracuse, with under 3 minutes to go, can go back on top, and Bacot's waiting to return.
I don't think Coach Davis wanted him in off the timeout because it was a defensive possession, but he definitely needs him on the floor for offense.
Joe Girard had a dozen in the first half. He only had 1 field goal in the second. It was a big 3. Edwards playing with 4 fouls. He's in the lane a long time. Jesse, it's a hand on it, and he was the last one to touch it. It'll be Tar Heels ball, and here comes Bacot.
I mean, he gets the smaller defender. All he's going to do is turn and dunk it.
Unable to get it down, but Edwards has really been a force on defense tonight. He's blocked 5 shots for the 6th time of the season. At 8 points, and not only has he blocked 5, he's altered other ones and made everything that Bacot and Nance have gotten when he's been in the game difficult.
I think Pete Nance has been very effective in that logo area, in that high-low.
R.J. Davis.
Gets to the elbow, pull-up jump shots. A couple times we've seen him do that tonight.
Davis with just 9 tonight, and Jim Boeheim is going to call a timeout. 2:07 to play, 3-point game. We're leaving you for just 30 seconds. Be right back. Full day on ESPN, the SEC Big 12 Challenge, highlighted by the #2 team in the country, Alabama, going on the road to Oklahoma. Then, in prime time, the Sonic blockbuster games, Texas at Tennessee. Rick Barnes, for the 2nd time, facing his former squad. Kansas and Kentucky will be the nightcap at 8 Eastern. College game day will be in Knoxville. Start the day Saturday morning and be in Rupp to wrap it up Saturday night.
How about Bill Self taking his team that's lost 3 in a row into Rupp Arena to try to get a win on the road? That's a tough one.
Yeah, and it's so rare too that Bill Self's team lose 3 in a row. Here's some of the stars you're going to see. We've seen some terrific freshmen here tonight, but the best one in the country is Brandon Miller of Alabama.
He is must-see, ticket-selling player.
Auburn is improving. Auburn and Alabama have a showdown coming up in a couple of weeks, first of 2. But right now, at a very important game. Carolina trying to win for just the 2nd time on the road. Syracuse in desperate need of a marquee victory. Here goes Mintz down the boulevard, can't get it to go, and the tip in by Malik Brown. One freshman got it on the rim, the other put it home. It's a 1-point game.
So Jim Boeheim likes that matchup. Judah Mintz going against R.J. Davis. He calls a timeout, he runs a set for him.
Bacot against Edwards, both guys playing with 4, and Armando throws it away. Okay, now Roger Ayers, is he indicating that the ball was deflected? As we take a look at Mintz going in, active Brown on the board. 8 of 9 from the floor against Georgia Tech last week, or last Saturday, largely on plays like that, hustle plays, and boy, did Syracuse need that one. Now, the officials, Roger Ayers, Brian O'Connell looking at the monitor to see if Bacot's pass, which was certainly an errant one, see if Syracuse happened to get a hand on it on the way out of bounds.
That's just I have 5 offensive rebounds for Syracuse. That's a big offensive rebound on that end of the floor.
That's how Brown has gotten his minutes this year. He's a hustle player, and it was not deflected by the Orange. It'll be Syracuse basketball. That's what they were
looking for a change of rotation on the ball.
And Judah Mintz is so quick, he almost got his hand on a pass. It didn't look like he had a chance at it all. Here's Mintz working on Davis. Girard to the top, gets Leaky Black loose. Girard for three.
Great set by the Orange. Nice ball fake.
Girard's been quiet in the second half, but boy, did he make noise to give the Orange the lead. Headed toward a minute to go. Here's Davis. Davis working on Bell. Now back out to Caleb Love. Makes his living making shots like this. Shot clock is deep. Caleb Love for three. Pete Nance fighting for the rebound. He's the last to touch it. It'll be Syracuse basketball. 53.3 to go. And I think we're going to make sure again that Nance was indeed the last to touch it. So back to the monitor we go.
What a great back-to-back execution by Syracuse. So many options off that set. Last time Mintz drives to the bucket, this looks like to me it definitely went off Nance. I didn't even think they needed to replay
Yeah,
this.
I don't think they needed a replay on.
But to go back to the same set and then to have another option for Joe Girard to come sprinting off that ball screen on the weak or screen on the weak side screen. See, he drove it last time. This time he gets Leaky Black in the air. He's got all day to knock it down. 4 triples for Joe Girard, and he hasn't taken a bad three all night.
Did you notice something on that shot fake? I saw on social media, I can't even believe I'm bringing this up, an old clip from Kobe Bryant. He was talking about defending shot fakes, and he said so many guys drop their shooting foot back on a shot fake. He goes, they're not going to shoot it. Girard dropped his shooting foot back right there, but still so hard to keep the defender.
Reese.
So hard to keep the defender on the ground. Watch him, see?
He sidesteps.
Yep. So hard for the defender to maintain position there. Great shot by Girard.
He does such a great job of getting separation. Foot fakes, ball fakes. And North Carolina's going to switch on this stuff right here, up the action up front. I think Girard to get it right back.
Syracuse maybe in its best position of the night with the lead and the ball. A chance to make it a 2-possession game.
He's checking the clock. Spot throw in.
And they did put a couple of tenths back on there, 54.1. Girard gets it to Mintz. He might very well be a human press breaker.
Untrappable, unflappable.
Syracuse has had the lead for just over 1 minute in this entire game, but they have it right now, and that's when it counts. Mintz, inside, won't go. R.J. Davis with the rebound, and about a 2-second differential in the shot clock and game clock, maybe close to 3.
You got to get it into Baycott.
Bounce pass, Nance goes up, and he is fouled, and that'll be it for Jesse Edwards. And Pete Nance will go to the free throw line where he's hit 7 out of 8 tonight.
This is really good execution by North Carolina. Catch and face, drop it off inside. Numbers advantage in the middle of the floor there. No way Edwards can get back and contest in time. He had to foul.
Oh, make him earn it from the free throw line. Now there's no time, obviously, to worry about having 4 fouls. Edwards has played his tail off defensively. He'll finish up the night with 5 blocks, 8 points, 7 rebounds, and he's been a factor and a presence in the interior all night.
I mean, he's always a factor in the way they defend, right? Their zone is best when they have a shot blocking presence on that back row, and he's mobile. Where he has improved the most is his counters on the interior. But right now, you know, here's what you're thinking for North Carolina. You know, you got to tell Nance he's going to make these, and then you got to sprint back, and you got to make sure that you keep the ball out of Joe Girard's hands, and I would keep Mintz out of the paint.
First order of business for the Heels is to make these free throws. They've made a living at the free throw line, but had some uncharacteristic misses tonight. First one's good.
North Carolina does have timeouts.
And he can't tie the game, but an offensive rebound that gets away from Black. But Nance gets it back, and he puts it in, and Carolina has the lead.
Joe Girard saves the ball underneath North Carolina's basket.
And it's hustle play. And they always tell you not to. Let's see if he had a chance. He was trying to bat it to Hema. Instead, he basically served up an assist to Pete Nance. And North Carolina has a 1-point lead with 17.7 to go. Now, from Syracuse's standpoint, the officials are back at the monitor one more time.
Did that ball bounce on the line before
it
Girard
might be
tried to save
out
it?
of bounds? Yeah. Let's see if inbounds. Nope, that's going to be a good basket.
Yep.
Great camera work by our crew. Great job down there underneath the basket. Unless they saw something I didn't see, this is going to stand up. And now Syracuse plans its attack. What do you expect to see from the Orange here on this possession?
I like Judah Mintz here getting to the paint, going strong downhill. I like him driving it hard to the basket, putting pressure on North Carolina's defense. He has been able to get in the paint against the R.J. Davis matchup. Let's see if R.J. Davis is still on him when we come out here defensively. I need some more size on him.
I was going to say, would you consider putting Leaky Black on him and run the risk then of leaving R.J. on Joe Girard, who guarded him last year when they met?
R.J. did like I said earlier, I watched all of Joe Girard's field goal attempts. R.J. Davis guarded him last year well. Looks like right now Leaky's following Joe Girard to the baseline. Can't get beat over the top if you're North Carolina. You got to make Syracuse come back to the ball.
Benny Williams, Malik Brown, Judah Mintz, Chris Bell, who's been terrific, and Joe Girard on the floor for the Orange. Leaky Black, R.J. Davis, Caleb Love, Pete Nance, Armando Bacot, final 17.7. Bell has it. Now to Mintz. Freshman gets right into the paint, and Roger Ayers calls an offensive foul. And R.J. Davis is yet to get up.
He takes another shot in the face.
His fourth personal foul.
RJ's been hit in the face a couple of times. Hubert Davis is asking Roger Ayers to have a look at it. Mintz picks up his fourth foul. That's a tough way to pick one up on the offensive end.
I mean, that's what you wanted to see Syracuse do, right? Attack the paint, Mintz off the bounce. But when he crosses over and steps through, does he clip R.J. Davis with his elbow?
And if they attend to R.J. Davis, we're going to have another look here. Mintz is really giving R.J. problems defensively. And you see the right elbow getting him right in the face, well outside the restricted area now. What did you think of the call, Deb?
Well, I definitely think
Is this offensive foul?
that it's an offensive foul because he runs R.J. Davis over. Now, that's a hard place to take a shot, right? But it's a natural basketball move. It's not with intent to try to hit him in the head with your elbow. It's a basketball play, stepping over the top, stepping through.
Our three officials, Lee Cassell, Roger Ayers, and Brian O'Connell, are conferencing. They're not looking at the monitor at the moment. Roger Ayers, the one on the far left, veteran official, is the one who had the call on the floor.
See, Judah Mintz is mimicking with Coach Boeheim the motion that he made.
Lee Cassell's coming over now.
After video review, a flagrant 1 foul has been assessed against Judah Mintz.
So after seeing, you thought it was a basketball play, but he said per the rule, they upgraded it to a flagrant 1.
They deem it to be excessive or unnecessary or avoidable. And I think once again, it's, you know, the result of the foul. And this is what you would call, this is what you would teach a basketball play, stepping over, stepping through.
And
however, they have to litigate the rule.
Roger Ayers giving a little more explanation, saying that he led with the elbow to the head, and that was the reason for upgrading it to a flagrant 1. And R.J. Davis just now getting to his feet, getting applause from the crowd here in Syracuse. Debbie, as you mentioned, here is the rule book for the flagrant 1, excessive and or unnecessary. Not a legitimate play on the ball. It's not really the case in this instance because it was a player control foul. But the first one, the top criterion there is the reasons that was upgraded.
So that will be 2 free throws for North Carolina. And then you go back to the point of interruption. So by rule, contact to the head or an airborne shooter is always an F1.
So R.J. Davis unable to shoot the free throws, and Caleb Love missed the first one. Caleb just 1 of 3 from the free throw line tonight. Came into the night as a 78% shooter. And he hits a second 2-point lead for Carolina, 10.7 to go.
Caleb Love makes 1 free throw. Number 10, Samir Torrance will check in for Syracuse.
North Carolina.
So Syracuse going to hard trap, foul, extend the game.
Carolina's
steal, try to get a steal.
Yeah, Carolina well below its season average in free throw shooting. Just hit 12 of 19 tonight.
And you got 1 less ball handler on the floor.
And
Syracuse
foul is called on Mintz, and that's going to be it for him. Well, the freshman has really played well tonight. A lot of energy, inspired play. Had the tough flagrant 1 for foul number 4, and then the desperation foul there, and finishes his night with 17 points.
And watch this right here. R.J. Love is trying to get open. See, he shoves Mintz.
10th team foul line, Syracuse, North Carolina.
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
2 shots for Caleb Love.
That's a great point. Caleb Love probably got away with one there. Always catch the second guy. They sort of got tangled up after the shove. So a 3-point lead now, and this free throw is huge. Can make it a 2-possession game. North Carolina has won 9 of his last 11 games, but only 1 road game. And take a giant step toward getting the second one if Love can hit the second free throw. And they've brought defenders into the game. Seth Trimble is checked in for North Carolina. So too is DeMarco Dunn.
All quickness here on the floor. You make Syracuse come back to the ball. You switch on everything. Syracuse, you get a quick 2 if you can. Trying to extend the game.
2-possession game. Syracuse needs a bucket quickly. Girard can't get it to go. Nance with the rebound. Trimble coming out of there with it. And with under a second to go, the whistle blows. And despite a valiant effort from the homestanding Orange, North Carolina is going to sneak out of here with a win. What an entertaining game. Let's see what Boeheim might have words to say afterwards. And Seth Trimble, who's scoreless in his last 3 games, so the game might be decided. This could be a very important free throw to some. Heartbreak Hotel. Still 1 more to go. The hook will get you sometimes, Debbie.
Could be a bad beat, maybe. Mr. Van Pelt.
Coming up next, missed them both. A 4-point victory for North Carolina. Quick handshake from Hubert Davis and Jim Boeheim as North Carolina wins for the 10th time in 12 games, and boy, they had to fight for every ounce of it tonight. Tremendous game and a victory for the Tar Heels. Our final score, 72-68. SportsCenter with Scott Van Pelt just around the corner. For Debbie Antonelli and Angel Gray and our entire terrific ESPN crew, I'm Reese Davis. Thanks for watching. Time now for all the highlights of the night. SportsCenter and our friend Scott Van Pelt.
RD, thank you so much. Sometimes the hook